Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Tai Chi class. We're going to get going with some warm-ups and a little bit of standing meditation. So let's just lightly start warming up the neck and the upper body. Go ahead and mute yourselves. So let's get started. Just gently roll back the shoulders. All right. Roll back each shoulder individually. Roll back the shoulders together. Slowly turn your head from side to side. Look left, look right. Ear to shoulder. And then look up and down. Well, let's do some wrist circles. Starting overhead, circle the wrists and sweep the arms down. Same thing. Just gonna change our lighting situation here. I think that's actually, maybe is that better for the light? About the same? Better, a little bit better? Yeah, I think we just don't need my extra light today. I think we have enough natural light. Okay, great. Oh yeah, that's much better. So let's do a little bit of our rocking side to side. So just gently shifting from your center, shifting side to side gently. And then gently just kind of come back into center. So slowing that movement down, finding a still place. And then we're going to do the same thing forward and backwards. So if you're standing, you can rock onto your toes and your heels, just slowly alternating, shifting your weight back and forth between toes and heels. If you're seated, you can do upper body. Just this gentle rocking back and forth. And same thing, moving and then slowly coming to a still point. Let's do a little bit of Qigong. We can rub our palms together. Generate a little bit of heat, a little bit of friction, a little bit of energy. We're going to think about expanding and contracting our lungs. And as we do that, as we inhale and exhale, we are going to let our arms be a mirror of that breathing in and out. So let's inhale and open. Exhale and slowly close. Palms are relaxed. relaxed breaths, and let your breath dictate how big or how small the movement of your hands is. Gradually making our movements a little bit smaller, coming back into center again. Coming back into a still point, we can place our hands on our abdomen. Just relax. Let's just count 6 breaths in and out on our own, nice and relaxed. All right, relax, take a little break. Again, we've had a lot of shifts in the weather this week. We had some really low temps. Now we're going to have some high temps this weekend. Whenever we have these big swings, just remember to take extra care of yourself and give your body a little bit of time to adjust. I think we're all happy about the warmth, but it's still an adjustment that our body is making. So let's review our standing meditation. I'll just review the hand positions quickly. So our first posture, arms are going to be relaxed and at our sides. So I've said a few times too, what does it mean to have relaxed hands? And it's going to be, everybody's anatomy is a little bit different, but generally relaxed hands while we're practicing, while we're doing warm-ups. You just want to have this nice light cup. You don't want to try to straighten the hands and the fingers. You just want to be nice and relaxed. And you could sort of always, think of teacup palms, right? So we're not grabbing and gripping. We're just really relaxed. However that feels, however that looks for your hands, it might be a little bit different. I do a lot of work with hand tools. So my hands might be a little bit more cupped, a little bit more closed when they're relaxed than others. If you don't do as much, gripping and manual work, your palms might be a little bit more open. So, but just always think of, we're not going to press our fingers together. We're not going to hold, we're not going to tighten, just be loose and relaxed. So that goes for when we're doing standing meditation, for when we're warming up, and really most of while we're practicing our forms too. There's a couple of places, where we're, we haven't gone over this one yet, but single whip, if we do have a grab, we're still practicing very light and relaxed. And even if we have an open palm, we're still not forcing the fingers open. We're still not forcing our tendons to open for any of these postures. So even a push, there can still be a loose cup in the hand. And while we're talking about this, say we finish a push, some of our rules for the classics are that we do want to have a straight line. We want our wrists to be straight. And that, again, that is for your comfort and for application. If you were to try to push with your wrists bent up or your wrists bent down, you could definitely injure yourself. So just while we're on this topic and I'm showing you how to relax your hands, do try to remember when we're doing, say, a brush knee, that we don't want to have wrists bent back or forward. We want to have them be nice and strong in a line with our arms. So so anyway, back to our standing meditation. So our first position is arms just loose and relaxed at our sides, right? So nice, natural, relaxed cup in your palms. You don't want to be totally straight in your arms. If you feel like you're relaxing down a little too much, just feel a little lift in your elbows. Just a tiny, tiny little lift in your elbows, a little bit of a bend there. So, and then we'll bring our hands up, palms up. Fingertips don't need to be touching or pressing. They can be, say if maybe your middle fingers are the longest, they could be just lightly touching. But we want to have space again, space between our fingers. We're not pressing into the body. I'll turn to the side here. We're not going to press our hands in when we do these. We're just going to lightly rest there. So, and then we're going to come up. I think it's going to be helpful if I turn to the sides here. We'll come up for our third position. This is heart tight. So again, think cloud hands, not too far out, not in too close to the body, but relaxed, comfortable. Sometimes when we start lifting our hands, we can tense our shoulders and our neck. And so just be mindful when we go from these nice, relaxed lower hands postures. And when we lift here, remember to tai gong and tuck your tailbone and turn your core on. And when you do that and you have a little bit of, you can try to imagine that space between your shoulder blades pressed together lightly. Just make your whole core, your whole center of your body strong. And when you lift so lightly with your hands, and that's going to help, take relaxed breaths and keep our shoulders down and our elbows down and go through these changing hand positions without adding more tension, right? So that's really to take it up and go beyond learning movements, but to take it up another level and to start really getting the benefits, the health benefits, we want to be doing some of these corrections. So that's what I'm going to go through in a little bit more detail here. And of course, always ask a question if there's something that doesn't make sense. But yeah, so we'll go from relaxed, second, third. This one I think is the most difficult to stay relaxed in. So we're about forehead height, okay, for this position. It can look a little bit different the way I'm on camera, but you want to have your hands about forehead height so you're looking out and almost a little triangle. But again, we don't want to be relaxed. We don't want to be pushing or tense or closed. We want to have palms relaxed and open, and we want to be able to keep our breaths relaxed and our shoulders relaxed. So if you feel tensing and tightening, just remind yourself to let go of tension in those areas as we move through. So then from there, I know this is usually for me, this is always a relief. Whoa. All right, finally we're done holding this posture. We're going to slowly, controlled movement, lower our arms down to about waist height. Again, not pressing, not closing hands, but just staying nice and relaxed through our entire upper body, entire arms. So you can almost think of, during standing meditation, you can kind of think of your hips and your waist as almost a tree trunk, right? And you can send your energy, you can send roots down into the ground and really stay strong and stable there. And if we're strong and stable in our stances, that really lets us be light and free and fast with our movements in our upper body. So now that we've done just that quick review with some details, let's go through that and just relax and try to enjoy these postures with that information in mind. So let's go ahead. And again, if you need to modify for seated, go ahead and do the hand position seated. If you're standing, just make sure you get into a nice settled position, shoulder width, and you can even do that to prepare for meditation. You can do that little bit of rocking to find, that evenly weighted, evenly balanced stance so that we're not shifted side to side, we're not fighting gravity, right? So we want to be in harmony with gravity, with our alignment and our relaxation. All right, So go ahead and begin. Change. Change. And always be at liberty to make little micro adjustments to allow yourself to keep relaxing. If you feel tense, make a little adjustment as we go through to make yourself more comfortable and more relaxed. Change. 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 Palms face slightly forward for this last one. And we can relax and come back to center. Then just lightly move the hands and the feet. Just kind of come back. Sometimes we drift a little bit in meditation, that's good. And just come back to the present room, present time, do a little bit of grounding. And anytime if we do meditation and maybe we feel, and you might not experience this, but if you do a longer, deeper meditation and you have a little bit of a difficult time, like reorienting and coming back and moving on to the next task, something that helps is for grounding is to drink some water and to eat a little bit of something. And of course, for Tai Chi and movement in general, we don't want to go to the buffet and then practice Tai Chi right away. That's going to be pretty uncomfortable. It's going to be hard on our system. But we also don't have to be starving. You can definitely drink water and have a little bit of a snack and, you know, keep your energy up before we do a little bit of movement. And that's just something for me that, and just in general, if you like to build a meditation practice into your daily life, that can be a really nice way to close out your meditation practice with gratitude, is like have some water and have a snack and just be like, wow, I'm so thankful for this food. So that's just some more tips for meditation practice. So moving on. Okay. Let's do a little bit more warming up. Let's just get a little bit of twisting side to side. And slowing down, coming back to center. And then make two fists, close them, and on your low back, rub in little circles over your kidneys. Just get a little bit of heat there, a little bit of friction, help the blood flow. And then let's protect our head with one hand, spiral to the side, alternate left and right. Loosening up the joints in the arms, nice and relaxed. Then we can do this to the front. Overhead. Reach, stretch up a little bit, and then we'll do hand over hand. Just a little bit of lateral movement. As if we were climbing a ladder, reach, circle, hand over hand. Really relax and let your lungs and your ribs be fluid and open. Relax any tension in your shoulders, your chest. Reverse your circle, hand under hand. Reach up, circle the wrists a couple times, palms together. Release and swing your arms. And then we're gonna open. Don't overarch, but arch the back a little bit and then close and round the back. Inhale and open, exhale and close. All right. And then we will isolate our hips, isolate the pelvis a little bit, find our compass points and go forward, side, back, side, draw a circle around all 4 points. Try to make your movement fluid and even. Circle both ways. And then we're gonna relax and now circle at the waist. Remember the tree trunk analogy, you just kind of like root down. You can bend your knees a little bit more when we circle. Make sure to go both directions. Try to keep our, Well, if you're feeling balanced side to side, try to do the same number of repetitions on both sides. But if you feel an imbalance and tension in your body, you can feel free to do a few extra rotations one direction and just try to even things out for yourself. Let's just lean forward and relax, open the spine and let gravity work. Bend the knees, use your legs to push yourself back up. And then let's do a little bit of relaxed open motion like a willow tree, drawing a big circle with our hands. Using the whole body in a nice, slow, controlled movement. And either at the top or the bottom of the circle, you can reverse. Good. All right. Let's find a bow stance. And go ahead and circle the hips forward. And if you're seated, you can just swing one leg around to the side of the chair and just open up your hip flexors, open up through one side. If you're standing, you can drop down into a little bit of a lunge here. You can lean forward to come up and switch sides. Same thing, bow stance, just circle the hips forward. And then we can sink down into a little bit of a lunge. It's been a little while since we've done floor stretches. So let's just do a little bit of that, a little bit of the same with our circles. And if you're seated, you can just repeat the same thing. Just keep circling at the waist, working on flexibility and mobility a little bit. If you're on the floor or the bed, wherever you're seated, hands in the center, circle each direction a few times. Nice and relaxed. And then we can draw our attention to one knee. I'm going to start with my right knee. I'm going to place my hands on either side of the knee. My nose points towards the knee, and I'm going to do my little circles again, each direction a few times. Just feeling a little stretch behind the knee. Make sure to go both directions with your circles. Make sure to do both knees. And back to the center. Good. And I'm going to shift onto my back. You can always use a towel, yoga mat. Bed is a little bit soft, but if that's what you have to work with, that's fine too. So let's have our knees up, and you can place your hands on your rib cage. We're just going to work on our Taigan, work on a little bit of a pelvic tilt today. So for now, just relax in this position, just feel where your ribs are, and just gently rest your hands there. And let's take 6 breaths in and out. Okay, so you can move your hands and just check the small of your back. Just check that space there. And then what we want to do is tilt our pelvis just slightly so that we close that gap and our whole spine is flat on the floor, lower back too. Hold that for a moment and then relax and release. I'm going to place my hands back on my ribs. And I'm just going to think of tucking ribs to pelvis. Hold a few moments, relax and release. Tuck and hold ribs to pelvis. Take a breath in and out like that and release. Again, tuck the pelvis. Breathe in and out and hold. And relax. This should feel really easy. If you feel tense or if you feel like you're doing a crunch, you're working too hard. So I have a tendency to be an overachiever sometimes. Just make this a real nice, light tuck of the hips, just so that the spine is flat against the floor. Doesn't have to be extreme. Doesn't have to feel like a crunch. We're just thinking of closing that space between our ribs and our pelvis. Just close that, tuck the hips, breathe in and out and hold that position. Relax. And then let's go into that pelvic tilt and do two breath cycles. Okay, so pelvic tilt, breathe in and out twice. And relax. Slowly come back up. You can roll onto your knees, onto your feet. Go ahead and push yourself back up. You can come back up to standing. Nice and easy. You can grab a drink. Okay. Just checking my chat there. Okay. So let me adjust my camera here again. All right. Let's work on some cloud hands. So we're just going to move side to side. Remember to stay nice and loose and relaxed. And I hope that that pelvic tilt now is in our muscle memory. And while we're doing cloud hands, just check and see if your hips are tucked under and if you've kind of closed that space just tuck your hips, think ribs to pelvis. And again, it's not tense, it's not extreme. But one of the things that doing that does is shortens your abdominal muscles. Which helps with strength and stability. It helps with a healthy pelvic floor. And it helps when we address our posture and we have a healthy posture, helps reduce pain in the spine and the muscles. So while you hear me say, Tai Bong, tuck your pelvis under, eventually, hopefully that will get set into your muscle memory and will just become one of the things kind of in your background mental checklist. Yep, I'm taking smooth breaths in and out. Yep, my pelvis is tucked under. Yes, I'm slowly shifting my weights as I step. Yes, I'm using my mind and my thoughts to direct my intention, and my intention is leading my movements. Good. Let's do a row of repulse monkey. Let's go ahead and do some brush knee, left and right. Okay, so from brush knee, check my screen brightness, maybe I will kick this back on. All right, so for brush knee, keep that in mind that we have this ward off application, right? We have this similarity in our postures. So let's review the beginning of the form. So heels together, toes slightly out to the corners. We bow in to begin the form. Relax hands to the sides, find our shoulder width. Toes point straight ahead. Beginning posture. Shift and hold the ball. Change, slide your left foot forward and your left arm. Ward off left. Rock back, hold the ball. We're gonna shift and make our bow stance with our right foot and right arm forward. Or ward off right. So again, let's go from beginning. Begin. Shift, turn one toe out and hold the ball. Find our bow stance. Shift forward. Rock back, hold the ball. Find our bow stance, right foot forward. Ward off right. From there, we're going to turn our waist and open one hand. The other hand will turn palm up. Turn back to face forward. Then we're going to turn our toe out, turn our waist again, and sit back into the back leg. That was roll back. One hand circles down, comes back lightly. Ball, the heel of your hands comes together. Bow stance forward. Open your hands. Shift back. Sink down and push forward. Hands come up. Good, so that's a review. That's a lot at one time. Again, don't worry about all of it. We're just gonna keep going through this and piece by piece, we'll start putting things together. I'll turn to the side. I think this side is a little bit more helpful for our right side form. I'll turn to the side, so let's go through again, beginning. Ward off left. Ward off right. Roll back. Arm circles back for press. Open, come back for push. I know that's a lot. Don't worry about it. You can review the video later. So one more time from the front. I'm going to just make sure that you can see my feet here. So let's go ahead, beginning. Ward off left. Ward off right. Just pause and hold there. Let's repeat that. From beginning. Ward off left. And hold. So let's do some checks for ward off left. We want to be in a comfortable bow stance. 60% of our weight is in the front leg. Our knee does not extend past our toe. So we're not double weighted. We're not shifted back to 50-50. We definitely want to have 60 to 70% of weight in the front leg. Our left foot is forward, our left arm is forward and in this nice ward off position. Right hand is at our side, it's relaxed, but it's not limp. It's a little bit parallel with our forward leg, actually, okay? So those are just some checks for when we finish the posture. Let's go ahead, keep going to ward off right. Pause there. Let's do some more checks. So for ward off right, we want to check our bow stance again. So Tai Gong, hips tucked under, comfortable, not too narrow, not too wide. Okay, so you can just go ahead and make these adjustments. You can physically look down at your feet. You can check the width, you can check your bow stance and try to get a little bit more comfortable. And then for our upper body, our hands for ward off right are definitely different than ward off left. So we have a ward off, but we basically have a space here between our hands, right? And this could be grabbing somebody's arm. This could be grabbing, controlling somebody's elbow. There's several different applications here, but our hands are not touching for this one. But this other hand is up and ready to go. So let's do that again. From beginning, ward off left, just pause and check, am I in a comfortable bow stance? Do I need to make an adjustment? And then go ahead and move on to ward off right. Same thing, just check briefly. Roll back, open to the corner, turn the waist, change your hands, come back to center, shift and turn, and sink down. That's for roll back. Okay, so let's go again there. From ward off right, we're gonna open to the corner, look to the corner. Okay, so it's important to have this thumb up on our lower hand. Then we come back to facing forward, shift, turn, and sink. So now our weight is in our back leg. Again, from ward off right, turn the waist, open to the corner, bottom hand is palm up, thumb is up, come back to center. We're gonna turn the waist, shift back, and sink down for roll back. For press, we're gonna open and look back. Heels of the hands come together, shift and press forward. Still in this bow stance now to finish. Gently open, sink back, shift back, sink down, and then we're going to come up and forward for push. Good. From beginning, ward off left, ward off right, roll back, we open to the corner, turn, shift and sink. Open for press. We're now finishing in our bow stance forward, weight is in our front leg. Then we open, shift back, sink down, and then push and come up for push. Again, from beginning, ward off left, find our bow stance with our left side forward, ward off right, find our bow stance with our right side forward, roll back, press, and push. One of my favorite postures is next. But we won't go there yet. All right. I'm going to demonstrate that one more time from the side. Let's go ahead and start as if we're going to demonstrate the form. So heels together. Hands together, we'll bow in to begin the form. Preparation. Find your shoulder width and settle into it. Beginning. Ward off left. Find your bow stance with your left side forward. Ward off right. Roll back, open to the corner, change your hands. Sink down. Circle one arm back, heels of the hands together for press. Our bow stance is forward. Open the hands, shift and sink down and come up for push. One more time. Preparation. Beginning. Ward off left. Ward off right. Roll back. Press. Push. That one we'll do a little bit later. So I think that's a lot of material to work on. Just continue practicing on new things on your own. And as always, reach out with questions. And I will see everyone next week. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.